So, now's as good a time as any to leave the dungeon, because that cutscene has unlocked something very important.
So this is the Velvet Room. What could those two doors be?
About that, we have no clue. As you can see, the doors are chained shut, preventing us from going through.
The colours on those doors should give you a bit of a hint as to what they might mean, though.
Nothing meaningless happens in this room. Their role should become apparent to us eventually.
Zen, Ray, do you know anything about these doors?
No.
I don't know, but I think they're probably connected to where you came from.
Does that mean these are the way out? How can you be sure?
This room itself didn't exist until you came. To me, this is your place. And those doors there are also yours. But that's just a feeling I have. There's no evidence for it. Forget what I just said.
As expected, it won't open.
Well, yeah, it's chained and has 4 locks on it. What did you think would happen?
We'll just have to leave them be for now.
Then let us move on to the main subject. We came to ask why our leader is unable to summon other personas.
Ah, why indeed?
That is what we wish to ask.
Ai-chan, you're starting to talk like her now.
Well then, though I am not too used to this, I will try investigating the matter a bit. Please sit down there.
Elizabeth, you're being a shipper.
These are tarot cards. They are used to peer into your fates.
Let me guess, it's gonna be tower, 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 isn't it? Of course! Why am I not surprised?
What is it? I do not know.
So, for those who don't know about tarot, I already explained this during the Persona 3 playthrough, but death is not the traditionally bad card, and so many movies get that wrong. Death just symbolizes change. Tower is the real bad card. It means disaster or pride before a fall.
Huh? The picture on the cards. This arcana has multiple interpretations. That I drew the tower is unimportant. What is more meaningful is that I did not draw the fool.
The Fool represents infinite possibilities and beginnings. It's what symbolizes the protagonists in Persona games and their ability to use any persona.
Fool? You mean an idiot?
No, like a jester, but yeah.
No, the fool is the number 0. It is the arcana that means a beginning and infinite possibilities.
And I just preempted Elizabeth there.
Just like the card, my guest can freely wield infinite personas. We call that ability the power of the wild card.
The wild card.
But perhaps this place is affecting it. His usual power of the wild card seems to have been altered. It seems you cannot shift from your own Orpheus persona here.
Good thing Orpheus has got a massive stat buff since the original Persona 3, because if this was actually Persona 3 Orpheus, we'd be in serious trouble.
So, he cannot change his persona? That could have serious consequences for us in combat.
No, his power of the wild card has not been lost. It truly represents infinite possibilities. But I had not thought this was among them.
What do you mean?
Besides his fixed, unchangeable persona, it seems he can take on a second persona.
And here we're introduced to one of the biggest mechanics of this game.
This other persona can be summoned freely. In other words, he may change it as he likes.
So we get to keep Orpheus, but we also keep the wildcard power.
He can summon 2 personas at the same time?
But the changeable one cannot display its true strength. It's best to think of it as playing an auxiliary role. If Orpheus is his main, then the changeable persona is his sub. They can both be assumed at once.
Hence, sub-personas. That's what this mechanic's called.
It would be best to think about it as such.
This wild card power's pretty crazy.
And could it be? One moment, please. The fool! Oh my!
Does that mean that you're going to be dating him at some point?
Huh? What?
You think I have this wildcard power too? There's no way.
Ha 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 ha, this is tragically ironic if you played the answer.
It isn't just you, Yukari. The boon of the Fool is evident on all of you.
Huh?
On all of us?
To use your own persona as a main, while taking a changeable persona as a sub at the same time. Seems this is possible for all of you as well.
Two at the same time? That's a bit hard to believe.
Remember when I said all party members are more versatile than they'd be in their home games in this game? This is why.
But it does make me feel stronger.
Still, why this irregularity? It's as if the power of the Fool has been strengthened. As if another with the power of the wild card is here.
It's almost as if this game could be a crossover of some kind.
Could it be that one of these two doors is...
Another with the power of the wild card?
Oh no, it's nothing.
Can Zen and I summon personas too?
Unfortunately, you and Zen did not have personas to begin with, so I believe that will be impossible.
And this is why Zen and Rei had higher stats to compensate for not having access to the game's main mechanic. They're a lot less versatile due to lacking the ability to use sub-personas.
Oh, but personas are so cool.
How is it that Zen and Rei have no personas? Isn't one necessary to fight the shadows?
I suspect the answer to that is deeply intertwined with the mystery of this place. This is a haven in the rift, a floating island, gently drifting deep in the sea of consciousness. Normally, one would not find living humans here. If there were one, then they may, in theory, have become one with an entity such as a persona or shadow.
That's interesting, but it was already pretty obvious that these two weren't entirely human.
Zen-kun and Rei-chan are personas?
I've never heard of a persona or shadow gaining an ego, though.
It's only a hypothesis of mine.
But... well, we have no other theories that can explain it for now.
Now, would you happen to have one of these?
Funny you should mention that, we just got a few of them.
A blank card. May I presume that you gained these from shadows through battle? These cards are blank. They appeared in a state which has not yet been guided to any sort of fate, though you were only able to summon personas unique to each of you. You may now summon other personas. If fate desires it, then these cards will accomplish their role on their own. Please, use these. They are a new kind of persona card.
From this point on, we'll never be finding blank cards. We'll just be straight up getting persona cards out of battle.
Well, do you have any questions? You and everyone else are on equal footing now. Most likely only while you are here.
Oh no, Gary Stu's now jealous. Everyone has the equal Stu power of him.
Your own persona will be considered your main, and changeable personas are considered your sub. This will allow you to take on both personas at the same time. Well then, if you have difficulties fighting the shadows, I recommend changing your summoned persona. Most of you will be unused to doing this, and so I encourage you to experiment for yourself.
True. I think that you continue handling the tactics as our leader. I'll be counting on you.
As always, we're in charge of everything.
Reliable as ever.
Well then, I bid good luck to you all on your way.
So now we have the option to switch around sub-personas. However, the Velvet Room itself is not accessible to us, but if you go into sub-persona, we can see we already have quite a few here. So let's check out the sub-personas that we have here. We've got 5 of them to start with, enough for the entire party, and first I'll mention how sub-personas work. When you equip a sub-persona, it gives a bonus to your HP and SP. There's something very unique about this bonus, but I'll get to that once I get into the dungeon. It also increases as the sub-persona levels up, and the sub-persona will also learn new skills when it levels up. But sub-personas don't have any elemental affinities in this game, like they would in the main Persona games. They will eventually learn, well, some of them will eventually learn elemental resist skills, but none of them will resist or be immune or be weak to anything off the bat, so remember that. So, of all of our starting personas, first up is Sandman. Now, judging by its high bonus to HP, you can tell that Sandman is a physically inclined persona. This is going to be our main physical persona for this point in the game. Sandman starts out with a sleep-inflicting punch attack, and eventually learns Double Shot. Now, any skills that have that little icon next to them, I think it's supposed to be an eye, but I always thought of it as kind of like a plus sign or a sparkle. But anything that has Navi in square brackets, these are Navigator-only skills. So, Navigators can equip sub-personas in this game, and there are some abilities that only take effect when used by Navigator. This is one of them. I personally don't consider this one to be that useful. All it does is show some vague sparkles on the unexplored parts of the map. You have to look really closely to see them, and you actually need to be really close to actually get this to kick in. Unless it's a treasure chest directly across from a wall you're standing next to, usually you've already seen the treasure chest by the time this skill kicks in, so I don't really find it that great. So I like to give Sandman to my physical users. Garfion is generally agreed to be one of the more useful of the starting sub-personas, mainly because it has Hummer. Hummer, as you probably know, is fantastic in this game. So, yeah, Garfion's pretty great for that. Also, we have Spotter, which is actually pretty nice. In fact, you can probably go ahead and just equip this to your Navigator whenever you're at a power spot to get this bonus. I prefer other skills and Navigators during battle, though. And then we also have Argy. Anzu, I find usually you get rid of Anzu pretty quickly. It's not that great, but it does learn some circle skills later. We'll be seeing what circle skills are eventually. It also starts out with this. We don't know what binds are yet, but we will eventually. Then there's Pixie. Pixie, just like in early game Persona 3, is pretty useful here. Also, yes, finally Pixie's back to being lovers. I hate how Persona 4 turned Pixie into Magician. That made no sense. But anyway, Pixie does learn some status ailment skills early on, which is good, and it starts out with healing and has a nice SP bonus too. And Koropakur, I think it's pronounced? This one mainly exists just to show you how Navigator personas work. There are a lot of personas in this game who are basically designed to be used by your Navigator. This is one of them. Starts out with Fairy's Vigil, which I actually do find kinda useful. And Sudokora Foot, which is basically your panic button if it looks like you're about to die in a battle. On Risky, this skill is extremely useful because it's very hard to run from FOEs, and this is one of the few reliable methods you have of doing that. So, yeah, this skill is very, very useful to have on your Navigator on Risky, but I'm going to equip you to my Navigator anyway. Firstly, though, I'm going to go ahead and heal, and I'll probably be skipping the nurse's office from now on. Well, until later, where there's actually more we can do there. And now it's time to switch around our party. Now, I actually want Koromaru in the party for this, because there's a lot of very tough enemies in this next floor that are weak to dark. In fact, almost everything here is weak to dark. I'll keep Ken just to show just how good Hummer is as well. And I think I'll unfortunately have to swap Akihiko in because, yeah, Akihiko is a little behind in levels. And I'm going to actually swap Igus in as my physical attacker because she has... So yeah, she is going to take longer to reach her next level than Shinjiro will, so once I put Shinjiro back in the party, he'll level up pretty quickly. Zen and Rei will be getting healing soon, but they'll get that later eventually anyway, so I think this is the party they'll be going with. Oh, also, by the way, even though it looks like there are 6 slots here, you can't actually have 6 party members. 5 is the limit. A lot of people were asking about this in the comments. This is because you can have 3 in the front and 3 in the back row, but there's still a limit of 5. A lot of people like to put the Persona 3 protagonist on the back row because he's a little bit squishier than the other protagonists, but I kind of like having him on the front row. Also, Igus, even though it says best in the back row, that's only because her weapon is ranged. Because Igus is a tank, I like to have her on the front lines. And now that we've got our squad together, let's go ahead and equip sub-personas. So first things first, I'm going to actually give a Garfion to Koromaru, because then you'll eventually have access to both Hummer and Mudor. Now, Igus will take Sandman. Fuka will obviously take you, because there's no reason for anyone else to equip that persona right now. And, let's see. Also, because your Navigator gets experience from every battle, if you've got a persona that you want to level up, equipping it to your Navigator can be nice for that too. Now, let's see. Ken, you'll go ahead and take... unfortunately, we don't actually have enough sub-personas for everyone here. But that will change soon, so I'm going to give Pixie to Gary Stu. Ken, because it's very important that Ken have some extra SP, he's going to take Anzu and Akihiko right now as punishment for being horribly flanderized. He will not have any sub-persona, but yeah, we'll change that soon, don't worry. And next we're going to go to the workshop. I'm not going to skip this because often Theodore will make new stuff for us. So let's go ahead and sell all of our items. This is going to give us quite a bit of money. And yeah, we've got access to a lot of things. More weapons, but personally I'm more interested in armor right now. Manly Jinbei. Here's the thing with Manly Jinbei though. We're gonna have access to this very soon. Fish pieces are very easy to find early on in the second floor, so I'd rather wait and buy that. We also have the wire jacket, which is kind of nice too. It's always a dilemma whether you buy armor now or wait until better armor's available. For Aigis though, I'm actually going to go ahead and get this because she's going to be our main tank, so she needs better armor. Now, when you buy new armor for a character at Theodore's shop, you actually have the option to immediately sell what you previously had equipped. For Aigis, there's no real reason not to get rid of her starting armor, no one else can use it anyway. And next, I'm actually going to take some new armor for Koromaru, because this is actually better than the armor a lot of other people have access to. And also, Koromaru is going to need to stay healthy for this floor. I'll take some armor for Ken. That's not that great. Yeah, I'll hold off until I get fish pieces. That sounds a bit weird, but anyway. For accessories, all we have available right now is this, which raises hit rates. We'll be finding a lot of accessories as we go through the dungeons. I do like this one, though, because SP is pretty helpful early on. As for weapons, I guess I can show, Aigis now has access to the grenade launcher. Koromaru has this Sexy Lance, which we'll get later. But I always found that name pretty funny back in Persona 3, and Shinjiro has access to a new hammer, but yeah, I'm not going to get those just yet. Still have quite a bit of money, but... Oh, wait a minute, I need to buy more medicine. I'm going to take 5 of these. I will be needing them to show off that thing on the first floor that I didn't get to show last time. Now with that in place, one cool thing about the equip screen is that if you press the L and R buttons, you can access the equipment of people who aren't currently in the party. So from here, I can take Shinjiro's life belts and switch that over to Aigis. Except unfortunately that effect's not going to kick in immediately. It probably should have equipped that before it healed, but still. And I think this is the setup that I kind of want. I could probably put Akihiko on the back line for now because he is only level 1. And with that, okay, before I save, this is actually a new recording session since the last one, and I want to show something. I did notice that the volume on the voices was quite low in the earlier parts, so what I've done here is, everything is actually set to 80% by default. I put voice volume up to 100% and BGM down to 65%. I'm going to see if that makes a difference. If the music is too quiet, I can put the music back up later, but for now we'll see if this makes a difference. Anyway, as always before going into the labyrinth, we're going to save. Yeah, I know, but we actually don't have enough sub-personas for everyone at this point. And we now can start immediately from the beginning of the second floor, since we've reached it once, which is good. Before we begin this floor, there's something that I want to go over that I forgot to do during the recording itself. For the purposes of people who are using these videos as a guide, here's something that I want to do every time I start a new floor of a dungeon. I'm going to show a full map of that floor that I prepared earlier. But I will be warning you, if you don't want to be spoiled on what the full map of the floor looks like, I will be counting down 5 seconds, and during that time, close your eyes. I'll tell you where you can open your eyes, so as not to be spoiled on the map. But anyway, let's do this. So, warning, I'll be showing the map, so if you don't want to be spoiled on what it looks like, close your eyes now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, it's safe to open your eyes now. This is how I'll be handling that for the rest of this game. So, back to the action. And it's time for some new music. Something that I haven't mentioned earlier, the soundtrack of this game is amazing. I absolutely adore the soundtrack of Persona Q. It's one of my favorites soundtracks on the 3DS in general, and that's saying something considering all the 3DS Fire Emblem games. So, this area is kind of like a central hub for the second floor. We're going to notice a lot of shortcuts here. In fact, I can probably show off something. The reveal nearby shortcuts thing, now if you look very closely, I think I'll switch over my viewpoint just to see. You can see a little blinking green circle there. That's because that's a shortcut. So that's what Fairy's Vigil is doing. For now, though, we're just gonna look around here a bit. Okay, that leads further in. I like to try and just pinpoint the locations of all the shortcuts in this first area before moving on. Yeah, there's a lot of them, as you can see. Like I said, this area is going to kind of serve as a central hub.
3 shadows. Some of them are unidentified. Switching to battle mode.
Okay, we have a new shadow here, the Jupiter Eagle. The Jupiter Eagle, if I can get my notes up for a second. Okay, yes. Weirdly enough, it's weak to wind. Usually these enemies used wind back in Persona 3, but note this one is actually weak to it. And it's also weak to light. I think for now I'm just going to go for a single shot. Just go for an Agi. Yoda's going to try out Hama. And Akihiko will just, well, they're weak to Zio at least. So, I'm not going to be too worried about my SP at this point, and I'll show you why. You might notice, if you look closely at my HP bars, that there's a little bit of a lighter patch on both the HP and the SP bars for all characters. Okay, good, that actually hits. After battle, you'll see the effects of this. Oh, that's actually a pretty strong attack for this point in the game.
The battle has ended. I believe we have beaten our speed record.
That's interesting. Forgot she said that. Not sure we actually have, but characters have interesting comments depending on how well you did in the battle. So let's open this door. Next time we get into a battle, we'll notice something.
Reading.
Well, let's go for it. Because as you'll see... So yeah, those lighter areas of our HP and SP meters are our sub-personas' HP and SP. They will not appear on the menu when you're traversing the labyrinth, but they will appear in battle. What this means is...
There are 2 shadows.
We actually
Switching
get
to
the
battle
HP and SP boosts from sub-personas back when we enter a new battle. As you can see, look at all our SP. It's all back. So, the only SP that you'll lose from battle to battle is your character's personal pool of SP. Sub-personas provide essentially a buffer level of SP that you'll always get back after battle. So as long as you don't go over your sub-persona's SP threshold, or HP for physical attacks, then you can effectively be a bit more stingy with your SP. For example, like if you look here, Hama costs 12 SP, and that I believe is exactly how much SP Anzu gives? Pretty sure it is. So if I just use one Hama every battle, Ken will never run out of SP for Hama. So this is definitely useful, though you've got to be careful because Akihiko has no sub-persona equipped, so he'll be running out his own pool of SP. Yikes, I'm glad I upgraded Aigis' armor. The downside, though, is if this misses, Ken will have to be chipping into his own pool of SP in order to cast it again. Oh, nice one.
It is time.
And Aigis has definitely gone under her sub-persona's HP pool,
Our team is highly synchronized.
so a little bit of damage will carry over.
April volley.
But the good thing about sub-persona HP and SP is that, well, I explained the good thing about the sub-persona SP before.
I believe we have beaten our speed record.
The enemies here give a lot of experience too. But the HP gives you a nice buffer. For example, it may look like we're a little low on health, but we'll be getting our sub-persona's health immediately in the next battle, so I guess we'll be gaining 31 more HP. So she's actually not nearly as weak as she looks. However, for example, if I were to say use Dia on the menu screen to heal up Aigis a little bit, yeah, that doesn't... You can't spend your sub-persona's SP on that. Only your actual pool of...
Are you alright? Your
yeah,
health's
this gets a
gone
little...
down quite a bit.
No, it hasn't. He's actually pretty high. That's a bit weird. But yeah, that'll be coming out of your own pocket, essentially. Any healing that you do outside of battle. But this is why I was saying that Ken and Koromaru are a little weak early on, because... Hama and Mudor, kind of accidentally scratched the map there. Hama and Mudor cost a lot, and you don't really have that much SP to afford it at that point. But now that we have sub-personas, Hama and Mudor become far more affordable. Well, this is annoying. I might put Akihiko back in the front line soon. Because that means that, yeah, you'll notice that Garisu and Aigis are taking the brunt of pretty much everything at this point. But yeah, we can pretty much afford to... Don't think I can afford to use a physical attack with Aigis, though. Okay, I'm actually going to go ahead and do that instead, because otherwise... Actually, no, going to go for... Let's see, gonna have Koromaru do that, and then Ken will... He could just go for Garu. But I've had pretty good luck with Hama so far, those are probably famous last words. And yeah, Akihiko can't reach the back row from here, so yeah, I'll probably be switching him to the front line after this. I only put him back there because he was a little lower level than the others. Okay, good, you attack someone who wasn't boosted. Please don't miss, even though it probably will. Because yep, of course it did. And now Ken is stuck with his normal SP pool. And Koromaru got unboosted.
Here I go.
At least I
can attack once more.
Okay, this is new. So this thing happens kind of randomly when people are boosted. This was a mechanic back in Persona 4, but it wasn't in 3. Every character has their own unique follow-up attack, and these are pretty much random. It's nearly impossible to plan for them. The chances of it get increased when you're in boost, but I'm pretty sure that's the only thing that affects it. Like I said, it's very much random, but if you played Persona 4, then you'll know how this works. Okay, yeah, I think I can afford to use another Arky with Koromaru. Ken, however, I'm going to... yeah, I don't really like having Ken use too much SP at this point. Actually, wait a minute. I can swap Akihiko onto the front lines right now, and then I'll be able to have him attack there and get boosted. I think Ken will just defend at this point. The Eagles are far from the most dangerous enemies on this floor. I'm surprised that I've been seeing almost entirely Eagles, though. Usually something else shows up by now. We'll get into that later, though. And I aimed for completely the wrong thing, which was stupid. I also aimed for completely the wrong thing there. What happened? Why didn't I use Akihiko's regular physical attack on that thing?
What is my next order?
Okay, well, at least I have free healing on you, and you're pretty fast, too. Not actually going to go for Hama on you yet, because that would use up most of Ken's SP. It's about at this point that battles start getting a lot tougher.
The enemy is weak against light.
Yes, I know that, but I'm not going to use Hama because, yeah. Well, at least I get a free Zeo. I should probably have used, Fuka's healing over time ability because I'm at full support gauge, or party gauge, it's called the party gauge. Also, yeah, this is new. We can now get Persona cards after battle. And as it says here, the more characters in boost status, the more likely you are to get a Persona card. That's another reason why you want to go for boost. Okay, Azumi. Azumi will eventually learn Mucka Jam, which is the first of the bind skills in this game, but I'll be covering binds once we get our first bind skill or see an enemy use a bind skill. Binds are incredibly powerful. Yeah, I know.
Your health's gone down quite a bit.
But now Akihiko has access to a Persona. Also, Hunting Prayer is actually a, or you need to press L and R to switch just up Persona skills. Hunting Prayer is pretty nice to have on your Navigator, because it gives an increased chance of drops from enemies. Eventually, though, I think I'll fuse those skills onto a better Navigator Persona. And there's nothing here at all. Let me just check how we're doing. We're probably fine to keep going for now, but yeah, any temporary changes in formation don't, take effect afterwards. Unless I think there's actually an option you can choose to do that. Yeah, here we go, fixed party. So if you put this on, you'll return to the party formation that you had to begin with after battle, which can be useful since sometimes formation changes mid-battle are just for emergencies, but at other times, you do want to keep the formation change.
We've been walking for hours. Can we take a quick break?
What, you're worn out already? Looks like you're out of shape.
You can't exactly compare. I mean, you're actually an athlete and he's not.
What? Come on, it's not just me. Back me up here, Ray-chan.
Oh yes, I'm starving.
I suggest that we take a short break over here, in this appetite-stimulating area.
It does look delicious, but I don't think you can eat these.
This gritty feeling, the strong smell of ink. I hypothesize that this is made 100% from pulp.
So basically everything here is cardboard.
Ah, pulp, huh?
Oh no.
Mm-hmm. This pulp is sweet with a mysterious texture to it.
When Ray said she loves eating, she wasn't kidding.
Blah.
It's paper. Paper!
However realistic it looks, this is the world of a children's story. Everything here is inorganic.
I say it's good that it's inedible. If these were real sweets, I'd be breaking the scales in no time. You don't like sweets, Yuka-chan? Yuka-chan? That's kind of cute. But no, I love sweets. I'm a girl after all. I'm just surprised you don't get fat from eating so much. Get fat? Zen, have I gotten fat?
I mean, it's kind of rude to ask that, but anyway.
You haven't changed.
Aw. Is she disappointed? Oh, I envy this girl.
Is there anything you don't like eating, Ray-san? Like bell peppers or black coffee?
I don't like pulp.
That's not food.
I've always loved that line.
As long as it has a flavor, I love every kind of food.
That's way too broad.
I remember that line being in Ray's trailer as well.
You've sure got guts. All right, I'll give you something great.
And here's more of Akihiko's flanderization.
Wow, is this cake?
Even better. It's a protein bar. Try it. Come on, hurry up.
Yes, right away. Thanks for the food. So mealy. It's delicious.
You can replenish over 20 grams of protein just with this one bar. It's a magical food. It'll make your power surge, your blood boil, and your muscles dance.
Wow, power swells in you and then blood drips from the cooked muscles and you can dance all you want?
That's right. If you train hard, eventually you'll get to where you can beat a bear with your bare hands.
It's funny because I think there are actually bear FOEs in Etrian Odyssey, but I don't think there are any bear enemies in this game.
With your bare hands? Is this true?
Although, I'm glad they're actually saying this now, because if a certain someone was here, he'd be making puns off of this.
That's enough, Aki. They're gonna buy into your bullshit.
Did I lie?
You're really gonna snarf down protein until you're fighting a bear with just your hands. You muscle-brained idiot.
Hey, did you just call me an idiot? Whoever says idiot first is the idiot. And there's nothing idiotic about protein, so watch your mouth.
Saying idiot 3 times in one line is not helping.
Yeah, I should have said stupid as well. You're a muscle-brained stupid idiot.
What was that? If I'm a stupid idiot, then you must be an idiotically stupid idiot.
Those two turn into little kids when they're together.
As immature as that is, I actually kind of like some of those scenes. We never really got to see Shinjiro and Akihiko interact all that much during Persona 3, and the two of them basically grew up like brothers, so it's kind of nice to see them kind of acting like it.
Have they always been like that?
How should I know? Just let Mitsuru-senpai deal with them.
Yeah, so the younger members of the Persona 3 party, they don't really know the seniors all that well. Shinjiro was a friend of Akihiko and Mitsuru's, but these two don't really know him.
What actually happens when you eat this pro thing?
Oh, by the way, this is one of my favorite dialogue options in the entire game.
Picking up. But I can already lift Ray with ease.
I just love Zen's response to that.
That's not what he means. Sheesh, will you stop complicating things?
Gary Stu always complicates things.
Just don't believe more than half, or hell, about 1/100th of Akihiko-senpai's protein myths.
I see. I understand.
Dude, they're still going at it.
You've always been picky, and you get angry over the tiniest things. I bet you're not getting enough calcium.
Oh, Who wouldn't get mad when someone throws protein into a whole pot of cooked rice? Apologize to the food, you ultra moron.
I never waste food. I was just being efficient. And if I'm an ultra moron, you're a gigamoron.
Will you give it a rest? It's time we were going. Honestly, are they even aware that they're upperclassmen?
You know, sometimes it's nice to, you know, be able to act like you're a kid again. And, you know, just being a senior in high school doesn't mean that you're mature by the standards of normal maturity.
Let's go!
A lot of them just think they're mature because they're at the high years of their school, but, compared to adults, they're usually not. Kind of reminds me of back in, when I was in, primary school when... Oh, hi there, new enemy. But back when I was in primary school, or, well, what would be grade school in the US, I went to a separate primary school, like, it didn't have an attached high school, so it went up to 6th grade, and so because of that, all the 6th graders, essentially, they were the highest age group in the school, so they all were super mature for their age, and I feel like people who grow up in a school where, let me see, I can probably... No, they're not weak to Zeo. Let me just quickly check that enemy. But yeah, I feel like if you grow up in a school where it has both a grade school and a, like, middle school or high school attached to it, then the 6th graders don't feel that mature because they know they're not the highest age group in the school. But anyway, this thing here, the Calm Pesh, or like Calm Pesce, that kind of sounds like Italian, but I learned that back at primary school too, to tie that into that. But it actually is weak to Zeo. And it is also, I believe, yeah, it is weak to Dark. So I'm going to let Akihiko get boost off of it first. And let's see, you guys, we don't actually know if you're weak to Hama yet, but by the magic of... Yep, it's weak to both Hama and Mudo, so I can probably try and Hama one of them. Now, these things are actually pretty dangerous because they can buff the attacks of other enemies that are in the battle. So I kind of like to take them out first if possible. But here I'm just going to let Akihiko get boost off before I annihilate it with Mudo. Now if this hits, and if I get an all-out attack kill...
It is time.
Okay, I think everyone just got boosted. Or not, that happened. So, yeah, full party hitting attacks like that... They're always annoying for boosts, so I should probably get rid of this thing quickly now. Let's just see. I can probably afford to Zeo you. Let's just Mudo you and be done with it, though. They are actually kind of fast, but at least the enemy that had buffed is now gone. In fact, there is something that you can use to check what buffs the enemies have currently. Really? That's annoying. Currently active. I probably should have been using that just to keep track of which one was Tarakajit, but I'm pretty sure it was the table that died earlier on. Okay, well at least someone's boosted.
Is electricity. What is my next order?
Actually, Akihiko's probably the one who's going to finish this, we'll see. But this enemy is the reason why I said that we'd be having access to fish pieces soon.
The next battle is already calling me.
And desk piece.
I guess you have to be careful. You appear to be in pain.
Yeah, those comments do get a little annoying eventually, but let's see if I can... I just remembered that I forgot to show off the medicine thing on the first floor. You know, maybe I could just, I could just use that navigator skill to escape from a battle and go back to the start, and then I'll show that from the first floor. Don't worry, I am going to deal with that yellow mark on the map eventually, but for now, I'm just going to check here. Because I know that that is to further progress. Pop out picture book. Actually, that's a pretty likely leap in this place.
Huh?
Oh, wow!
Yes, it was literally a pop-up book. Something pops out of it when you open it.
as expected. Jeez.
So with that, we get an accessory, the 4-leaf clover. Yeah, that would be kind of useful. But that, I like giving this to Ken or Koromaru. We'll see. Right now, more things are weak to dark, so I'm going to give that to Koromaru. Luck +1. It doesn't seem like a pretty big effect, but that does make a difference, especially with instant death early on. Also, yeah, I forgot to mention it earlier, but the reason why instant death success rate is tied to luck in this game is because it's considered a status ailment, and status ailments are determined by luck.
Huh?
So, this wouldn't be Alice in Wonderland without rabbit references.
Oh,
Obviously not.
wow!
Well, Zen kind of remembers something, but for now, let's just deal with this. It's not hostile, and it's waiting for us. Well, we're already in Wonderland, but I guess we could follow it, and maybe we could get to somewhere that this rabbit is late for. She is right, this thing is not a threat to us. I think we should chase it. When in Alice, do as the Alice does, I suppose.
Hey,
It almost sounds like Akihiko's going after a Pokemon here. Let's catch that bunny-ary. So, it takes a step every time we do. We're not gonna catch it like this. It had a head start on us. I think we're supposed to follow it, not catch it. So let's go, follow that white rabbit. Surely we have it cornered, right?
what?
Or not. Yeah. But there was a very good reason to do this. Because now we have a hole that we can go through.
What?
And we immediately got a random encounter.
There are
Ah,
three
3 new
shadows.
enemies.
Switching to battle mode.
Okay, gonna set up Healing Breeze first, and let's see. Definitely want to Moodle a couple of them, and you could get Hammered. Yeah, this is a case where every enemy is weak to Hammer or Moodle, so potentially we could end this battle very, very quickly. Potentially. What I am going to do is I'm going to Zeo the one that I'm not going to target with Moodle, because that way I'll ruin my boosts if the Moodle from Koromaru hits. Set up the Healing Breeze, even though it won't do much on the first turn. That's not good. But at least they went before me, so they're not going to ruin my boost status. Oh, Koromaru's not doing well with that. And we've just been bound. The good news is that that was a magic bind and it hit Igus, who is perfectly fine with being magic bound for the most part.
I messed up.
Oh, I'm not getting lucky with my Hammer and Moodle at all in this fight. That's not good.
It is time.
So that magic bind is not going to do a thing about Igus's physical attacks. Time to talk about binds. So binds are an incredibly powerful game mechanic in this game.
Physical attacks right now.
Functional error detected.
As Fuka mentioned, Igus has been magic bound, as you can see on that screen right there. Also, this is the buff/debuff screen. We can check our buffs and our debuffs, and if you look at the enemies, we can check what buffs and debuffs they have access. They have active by pressing L when I'm viewing their scan screen. So, like I was saying, Magic Bind is essentially silence. It means your magic stat is considered 1, which doesn't really do anything from what I've seen, and more importantly, you can't use magical skills. However, Igus has no magical skills, so it doesn't affect her at all. I was very lucky that the enemy went for Igus with that, because if it had gone for someone else, that probably would have ended badly. Because everyone else is primarily focusing on magic. There are 2 more binds, but I guess I'll talk about them once we see them.
Here goes. Polydeuces!
Magic Bind is useful against enemies that use a lot of magic, but I find the other 2 binds are a bit better overall. Well, this is a better hit, because Koromaru has basically no SP now. Good. There we go. I hope this hits too, but I actually will be heading back soon.
Summoning Palladian. The battle has ended.
Because we are running a little low on SP at this
The
point.
results of the battle are compiled.
Got a couple of sub-persona level ups too. Also, everyone's level 3. That's probably a good place to stop for now, actually.
My congratulations.
So this queue is status ailments, which might come in handy, but Pulimpa, this is something that I really want to go for. Tentarafu's a lot better, but Pulimpa...
I'm not done yet.
Oh,
There's no upper
I
limit.
can learn a new skill too. Pulimpa inflicts
Persona
panic
seems
status.
stronger.
And panic is insanely overpowered in this game. Actually, in fact, I'll delay a little bit before I leave because we're soon about to get something. This counts as a shortcut, even though it doesn't act like a normal one, so we can head through it now that the rabbit has. And we've opened up our first door to the floor of this floor. That kind of rhymes.
Let's give it a try.
I would like to propose an idea.
Well, that's what I was going to do anyway. Like Iga says, a good time to head back to base is when you've unlocked a shortcut that lets you easily get back to where you last were from the start of the floor. As you can see, this area here is going to be kind of our central hub. There are a lot of shortcuts that lead back in here. So for now, I think we will be leaving, but before we do, I want to take care of something on the first floor. We'll probably get into a few encounters there. Also, by the way, the encounter meter resets if you go up a floor. Pretty sure it does, at least. Yes, it does. And in fact, we're very close to that thing that I wanted to show. That magic
There's
box.
something over there. Should we go check it out?
So if you have medicine, you can put a medicine in it. And just like with Ray's corn dog, we got a duplicate medicine.
Yay!
Now you can keep doing this. So now we have even more medicines. We've gained a net profit of 2 medicines. That reminds me of someone from Danganronpa, actually, that line. So right now, we're carrying 5 medicines. I am going to show something here, even though you really shouldn't, but if we try putting another medicine in, we don't hear a sound. And we've lost our medicine. So it only works twice. So for the best net results, you have to use this event twice, but no more. It should be pretty obvious this wouldn't be infinite. And so, the saga of the mysterious Junpei comes to an end.
I see. What? Hey!
And that ends that event. So we did at least get a net profit of 1 medicine out of that. And with that, I think we should be leaving. At this point, it's probably better to just leave the labyrinth itself. We don't really need to use a Goho M. So let's leave. We made some pretty good progress if we check our map for You in Wonderland Chapter 2. And we also got some level ups on our characters, leveled up our sub-personas a bit, and I'd say we did a pretty good job. So next time I'll be heading back into You in Wonderland. We'll just see how my SP is looking. I can probably afford to not heal here and just swap out my other party members. I'll probably be doing that. But next time I'll be heading back into You in Wonderland and seeing just where that rabbit went. So, see you then.